with Paul this week. So we said we worked out the schedule, and so said, when we get Paul.
After more than 60 years at the center of rock and roll, Mick Jagger, now 82 and still restless with creative energy, has taken moments to look back at the women in music who left a lasting imprint on his life, his artistry, and his understanding of performance. These weren't just collaborators or contemporaries. To Mick, they were elemental forces, women whose presence shaped entire eras and whose influence echoes through every generation that followed Tina Turner. A storm on stage. When Mick speaks of Tina Turner, his voice turns almost reverent. She wasn't simply dynamic, she was explosive. Tina had the rare ability to turn a stage into something alive, something trembling with heat and motion. Mick often said that watching her perform was like standing too close to a bolt of lightning. Her command, her endurance, and her fearless energy left him stunned every single time. In rehearsals, he saw the intensity behind the magic, discipline braided with fire. Tina didn't just perform songs, she detonated them. Cher, the unshakable icon. Cher was confidence embodied. Every room she entered shifted around her, drawn into her orbit. Mick recalls her humor, her fearlessness, and her ability to carry herself with regal ease even in the most chaotic environments. She mastered presence the way others master instruments, effortlessly, instinctively. For Mick, Cher was proof that charisma wasn't taught. It radiated from within, and hers was unmistakable. Diana Ross, elegance with electricity. To Mick, Diana Ross was the definition of star power. She moved with a grace that seemed choreographed by the universe itself, measured, polished, yet deeply expressive. Her voice carried both precision and warmth, and her poise could silence a room before she even sang a note. Mick admired how Diana made performance look weightless. She didn't chase attention. She attracted it simply by existing in the spotlight. Janis Joplin, the wild heart. Janis Joplin, on the other hand, was pure emotional force. Nothing about her was filtered or restrained. Mick saw in her a kind of beautiful chaos, the fierce vulnerability that pours out when an artist performs without armor. Her voice cracked open emotions she didn't bother to hide, and her energy was so consuming it could set an entire venue shaking. Janis reminded Mick what it meant to pour every last heartbeat into a song. Debbie Harry, the quiet flame. Debbie Harry captivated with a different kind of intensity, cool, sleek, and electric. Her presence wasn't loud, it was quietly magnetic. In the punk era, she didn't just stand out, she defined an attitude. Mick admired the way she blended icy detachment with smoldering confidence, turning style and sound into something wholly her own. Stevie Nicks, the enchanted storyteller. Stevie Nicks brought mystery into the room with her. To Mick, she seemed woven from wind, velvet, and moonlight. Her voice carried stories like spells, and her performances felt like rituals, intimate, mystical, unforgettable. She had a way of making music feel like prophecy, something you experienced rather than heard. Grace Slick, the powerhouse. Grace Slick was a tidal wave. Her voice crashed through any space with staggering strength, and her presence demanded attention before she even began to sing. Mick admired her audacity, her refusal to shrink, soften, or apologize. Grace showed him how conviction could turn rebellion into art. Together, these women shaped not only the history of music, but the evolution of Mick Jagger himself, each leaving a mark that time has never erased.